of this. We are recording today's session so that folks can re-watch later. So if you're one of those folks and you're re-watching right now, thank you so much for joining us. And if not, we're so happy to have the folks that we have with us today, and it looks like folks are trickling in. I'm going to do some introductions before we get to some of the more formal presentation stuff that we have ready for you. But my name is David Hotler. I'm the community manager of Book Creator. I've been in this role a little over a year, and before that, I was a teacher in both the States and here in Europe for about 15 years. And I'm joining you from Madrid, Spain. And we have several other folks from the Book Creator team here who would love to introduce themselves, and I'll let them just choose in which order they'd like to do that.
I can go. Hi, everybody. My name is Chanel. I'm a partnership manager at Book Creator. I've been at Book Creator coming up 2 years now. So I support districts all across New York State and generally districts who are in kind of those early phases of implementation, run pilots and those type of things, kind of, supporting districts through that. I'm joining today from Bristol in the UK. And I'll hand over to Ali to introduce himself.
Thanks, Chanel. Yes, my name's Ali. I work alongside Chanel, John, David, Amelia here at Book Creator. I've been here a year and a half. I actually am wearing a Book Creator hoodie, not just a generic black hoodie, but I'm just not very tall, so that's why it looks like that. But yeah, I've been at Book Creator for a year and a half. I recognize some names here. Hello, Tori. Hello, Jen. Nice to see you guys. And yeah, very excited for our second New York Cafe event. I'll pass on to John.
All right, and I'm John Smith, the oldest dog in this fight here today at Book Creator. I'm coming up, I can't remember if it's my 6th full year or 7th full year at Book Creator. I don't remember because I'm getting old and I'm starting to forget things, but I'm excited to be here. I work in all of the northeastern cold parts of the country and all of Canada. So that is my territory. And I am the Senior Teacher Success Manager. So, Donna, going from a pilot to a purchase, we will be working together this coming year. So any, professional developments and things like that, let me know. Chanel and I do travel to New York occasionally to do some like road trip things. So maybe one of these days we can get out to the school and visit and do some things in person. That would be great. And I see Michelle there. Michelle knows what that's like because she's been with us a few times on some of those trips. So it's awesome. But yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. I probably won't stay too long because I have some other not so fun commitments to attend to today, but I just wanted to stop in and say hi to everybody. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And I'll pass it on to Amelia.
Thanks, John. Hi, everyone. I'm Amelia. I've been here at Book Creator for coming up 8 months now. So I'm the youngest dog in the fight. And yeah, it's felt like a lifetime, but really excited to be here at our second New York Cafe. I'm also coming from Bristol, which, fun fact, is the rainiest city in the UK. So there we go. But yeah, thank you.
David, you're on mute. I can't hear you if you're speaking.
There we go. Oh, too many of these calls today. It's Zoom, guy. It's Zoom. You share your screen and then they put all your windows in different places. Sorry about that. So excited to have so many folks from the team joining us today. And we had 40 folks register, so there's probably more folks coming in, but not to worry because we're going to carry on and get to some of these awesome presentations. I see Michelle is with us. Who else did I have down? Donna. Yes, here. Great. So perfect. And then is Maria with us? Not yet. Okay, so we've got 2 presenters here. That is going to be fantastic. So what I want to do, I want to get everyone into this library. And essentially what we're going to do from here on out is use the library that I'm showing you now as sort of a hub for our New York community. And so as this grows and as we meet more and more times, we're going to use this space as a permanent fixture inside of your libraries so that you can always get access to the latest updates. And you'll see in here that there's one book, and that's this New York Educator book. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm filling it with the resources from our other meetings. And so I'll go to page view here so you can just get a glimpse at what I've been doing. The first page is going to contain the video recording that you're hearing right now. You're probably watching it from that page. We'll always have some audience questions, and so I will go through those and answer each one of those questions. And then we've included some resources that are both topical. We've got some journals and things that I'll talk about a little bit later, as well as some things that are specific to New York. And so we'll talk about these in a minute, but you might have seen there's a dedicated New York landing page that you can visit that's very similar to this library, and it's going to have a lot of really fun stats for you. And then we've also created a really fun What's Going On in New York book, all of which that you can explore because you have access to that library now and you're able to jump in there and take a look. And we'll be building that out because each time we get together, there are new community resources that are shared. So in our last meeting, these were some really fabulous resources that folks were sharing in the chat. And so we captured those here. And I'll continue to do that through all of our community meetings. That way you have everything in one place for you as we keep building this out. And we'll keep filling this up with topical information that you are asking about or that we think might be relevant to you at a certain time of the year. So you might have noticed I was running a poll just to ask a little bit about who you are so that if you're joining us, we can understand more about you. And I really appreciate that. I'm going to run a few more polls just to learn a little bit more about you throughout the session, and I'll let you know when those pop up. So before I say anything else, I want to get to what's most important, and that is our community share, because we've had two folks step up in that registration form and say, hey, I'd be willing to share what I have going on in my classroom using Book Creator. And so I'm just going to put you right on the spot. Michelle Manning has been using Book Creator, I think, since the beginning, and is a member of our community. Michelle is what we call an ambassador. So Michelle has sort of put herself forward as a forward-thinking educator, both using Book Creator and a lot of other ed tech tools. And she stepped up and said, hey, I like to talk to other folks about Book Creator. So we'll talk a little bit more about, if you want to join the community, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. Michelle, giving you screen share abilities. I'm going to stop sharing. Take it away. What do you?
Okay. How long do I have?
Oh, 5-10 minutes. Yeah, okay. I think.
Because I can stretch it or I can make it short. So, can you see my Book Creator library? Yes. Okay. So for those of you who don't know me, this is my 30th year in my current school district. I'm an instructional technology integration specialist in Smithtown Central School District on Long Island here in New York. So I've been using Book Creator in my role. First of all, it completely transformed my job as a tech coach, and it was the #1 tool that opened doors to get me into classrooms as a tech coach. So I am so grateful to Book Creator for that, because I was stopped banging on doors and doors just flew open for me. But one way that I've started using Book Creator is not for student creation. Everybody loves Book Creator so students can be authors and create. But I've actually been using it lately for teacher presentations and digital notebooks. As most of you probably know, there is no textbook that aligns with New York State social studies standards. So our teachers really struggle with putting together content and material for their social studies curriculum. We currently use Putnam Bosse's site that we subscribe to, and it's a series of Google Docs and links. And it's a little cumbersome for teachers to try to put it together, and it's not all classroom ready. So what I've been doing is creating textbooks in Book Creator for the teachers. So for our K2 teachers, it's a presentation tool, one-stop shopping, everything is right there. For our 3-5 teachers, it's also a digital notebook for the students. So I'm going to show you this book that I created for our kindergarten unit. Wants and needs. I'll just quickly show you the pages so you can see that I started with the video of what they're going to learn, their essential questions and understandings. And a lot of this is obviously for the teacher since this is a kindergarten, but everything is in one place. I have hyperlinks, table of contents. So when the teachers log in, okay, today we're doing lesson 2, it hyperlinks right to that page in Book Creator. And then all of the links are there. I was able to embed the videos that the students needed to watch. So again, one-stop shopping, no worries about opening YouTube and having all of those ads and unsafe links pop up. The teachers can write with the pen, they could write using the smart notebook tools, and they can collaborate. So everything is here in one-stop shopping. If this was older and they wanted to push it out for the students to work, create interactive or drag and drop, but since this is kindergarten, obviously this is more of a presentation tool. And because of Book Creator's new update, if you're familiar, if you're not, hopefully you're as excited as I was when John sent this out. There's a new update called Central Libraries. So now we have a library for our whole district. So the teachers can go to this, it just appears on their dashboard, and then they can go and access all their resources. As you can see here, I created a library for each grade level. So every template that I have created, I put in here. The teachers don't have to join the library, it's automatically there. And all of these books are only, they can only make a copy, and then they have to copy it to their own personal library. So no more worrying about 10,000 copies in each of these libraries. So it's easily accessible for the teachers. And then I'll show you the 4th grade book that I started working on. This is more of a digital notebook. I was able to hyperlink Edpuzzle Originals if they wanted to create interactive videos, or here is the video if they wanted to show it as a whole class. So everything is linked. This is a nice drag and drop, so no more photocopying. A lot of times I see the emails going around, our big machine is down, meaning the photocopy machine is down. No more wasting paper, no more worrying about the photocopies, no more students searching through their desk for their notes. Everything is here, and these are drag and drop activities. And then the students also always have their notes from studying. No more binder vomit where stuff goes flying everywhere. So this is a presentation tool for the teachers and a digital notebook for the students. They always have it to refer back to. And if you're wondering, well, this is overwhelming, I don't want my students to have all of the lessons ahead of time, I only want them to have lesson 1. Well, in Book Creator, you can go ahead and share out just the pages that you need. So when you assign this book, you can go ahead and share the book. You can assign it to the class, so it automatically makes a copy. But when you assign it, maybe only assign it with the first 3 pages. And then you can go ahead, and when you have your pages, you can select pages. Okay, we're just going to do lesson 1 now. So I'll select all the lesson 1 pages, copy 2, and then I can copy it to all of the students' books. So you're only assigning 1 lesson at a time, so it's not so overwhelming. And what's nice too with that feature is you could also differentiate it. If some students need sentence starters, some students can just fly on their own, or some students maybe need more of a fill in the blank, you can go ahead and differentiate it as well so that they get the level of support that they need. So this has been a tremendous tool, like I said, just a way that teachers can use this for instruction and for student use as well. So I don't know if there's any questions, anything else you want me to show?
Yeah, folks, any questions for Michelle? That was fantastic.
Thanks.
I have a couple questions. I just don't know the appropriate time to ask them necessarily. Like, are we getting to that? But like her, for example, exactly the book that she shared today, do we have access to some of those? Is there already a library that we have access to?
I haven't shared those with Book Creator. Those are my district resources. I could see if I have permission to share those out. And what I did, I just threw in the chat my social media handle. I'm at Manning Tech Talk. So if you want to find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, whatever you really want to call it now. If you do have other questions that you think of after, or if you're watching this recording, you can reach out to me on any of the social media platforms, and I'm happy to help.
Yeah, Jennifer, and really anyone listening, it might be best actually to reach out directly to Michelle if you're going to request to use those in your district. That way they're not coming to us first, because that might put someone off of sharing them. For example, Michelle's admin not wanting to share with us, for us to share them to you. So this is a great example of why we are getting folks together in this community, because you two can talk, and it's likely a great opportunity for you two to share resources there. So I totally respect Michelle too, not being able to share those district resources, and we're always certain to ask before we share stuff out on our end. So I appreciate the question.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, and it's more likely that they're willing to share within the state than internationally and
Yeah,
all beyond.
yeah.
I don't
Makes a
see
ton of
why I
sense.
can't. I just want to double check, but I do have a library with all of my other templates, and I'm looking for it, and I think I found it. I'll grab that link and post that in the chat as well with other resources, because we paid to subscribe to the Putnam BOCES website, and it's technically their curriculum that I've converted into a book. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, Michelle. I think, yeah, it's definitely the right approach to take. So we appreciate that. Are there any other questions for Michelle? All right, Donna, the stage is yours. I've made you co-host, if you hadn't noticed, so you should be able to share if you'd like.
Thank you, for sure. I definitely want to share. Michelle, I actually took one of your sessions at Nicegate in Rochester. So I remember you, and I remember having a great time watching your inspiring book creations. And it's been helpful to me because this year, like I said, it's our first year having the pilot, and our budget passed, so we will have Book Creator next year. And it is such an amazing resource, and I do frequently check on the New York page, because I know that also, I think Lori, I don't know how to say her last name, Goyan, she also has amazing new stuff for New York as far as the digital fluency and computer science standards. So you guys are superstars in my book. So we have had great success, as you had mentioned, with our teachers loving Book Creator, and it is an easy sell, as you had mentioned, Michelle. There's so much you can do with it. It's just blown up with the amount of tools that are available within Book Creator. So it's not just about creating a book. We've had teachers using it, and this is what I'll show you today, as digital reading companions. So we have our 5th grade used it for the novel. I don't know if anyone teaches ELA, but there's a novel that our 5th grade reads, the entire grade reads. It's called Flush. And so what I was doing is I was creating a reading companion to go with the novel. And I was using that feature that you showed, Michelle, the copy to feature, because we didn't want the kids jumping ahead, because they loved it so much that they would jump ahead. So I had to keep them chapter by chapter and use the copy to feature to get them, so that they didn't jump ahead in the book, the novel, and in their Book Creator companion activities that we came up with for them. So that was such a hit, and that was with 6th grade. I'm sorry, not 5th grade. That was such a hit for 6th grade that the 5th grade teachers want the same thing for Esperanza Rising, which is another very popular book, read across, I think, across the United States. I know my daughter read it, and she's from a different school district. So those are amazing, and I'll show you examples of those today. And also at the high school level, since the New York State science standards are changing, next year the students have to show what they know in a very different way. And Book Creator lends itself perfectly to that. So it's like their science labs, they have to show growth. So they have to, like a digital portfolio, they have to show their labs, they have to comment on their labs and their predictions, and then show growth and revisit those in a performative assessment type style. So when I introduced Book Creator to high school science teachers, they were excited. They were like, please don't tell us we're not going to have this next year, because we need to know for sure we're going to have this next year. So they played around with it this year. And they had made digital textbooks. So the students were assessed on homeostasis, and they had to take an actual real life scenario of a person's body having something happen, and that body has to return to homeostasis, and all the different systems that come into play to get the body back into homeostasis. So that was pretty amazing for a high school use. But I would like to share the Flush Reading Companion and this one student's creativity, the amazing creativity these kids come up with when you give them the opportunity and all the different media to work with. What they do is just mind-blowing. It makes it so much more fun for them as they're reading the novel and as they're expressing what they're feeling, like a group-wide book study. The teachers are more excited about it. Some of these novels, they've been teaching these novels for years. They get kind of bored. So this has like revived them when it comes to their students' experiences reading the novel. So I have here, I can share my screen, correct? I'm going to try to share my screen now. It's been a really long time for me to do this. Okay. Sorry for my slow ticking around here. Okay, so you can see my screen. I have your source there. Let me grab what I'm trying to do here. So here is the Flush Reading Companion, and this is like the teacher's version. So the teacher put their model, which I was feeding to the teacher, and because I'm in the library too. And then the students were able to document, like redo their model. So the model is this one, and I can share this. I have my own copy of this, so I can share my copy. This is the teacher's copy, but this is like an idea of what it looks like, what they had to do. So there's the book cover, and for each chapter there was different activities. This one is similar to your drag and drop, Michelle, but it's where they have to actually type a little summary using all of those words in their summary. And then having the directions on the page and reading to them, having the ability to have the directions read is very helpful. So you don't have to type so much of the directions on the page, but they can hear a better description of what they're being asked to do. The teachers loved that. And then here's a character map, which was already in Book Creator. I just popped it in there. That was a template, some comparison. And this little fish guy was their reading companion. So they had to name the fish and they had to speak as if it was the fish speaking when they were doing these summaries. So this is boring because it's blank and it's just the model. So I would like to show you one of the students who really we had to slow him down. He was just loving this so much. Let me get back to the library and show you the students. Let me X out of that, sorry. So where is he here? This one. So they changed the cover and they made it, I mean, so much more fun than, and I'm sorry, we're old and we just somehow, sadly, just don't have the creativity that a fifth grader has. So they loved just even modifying the cover, but you could just see here how much they wrote. I mean, it was going down the page and you could see here the directions are on the side. And you can see here, I gave little props to that student. I used the sticker feature to let them know I'm reading these books too. And I think these books are amazing. Keep up the good work, that sort of thing. I gave them book creator stickers because I had swag and I was like, you're an excellent book creator. And they were just so excited about it. But I mean, look at what this student put in here. I mean, look how adorable this is. They just really went above and beyond. And it wasn't, there was nothing, no prompting needed. It was like, go into Book Creator and do the next activity. That was all you had to say. And they were busy. There's just this one page that's so cute. That's so cute. I really wanted to show you guys. Hopefully you can hear this. So they were told to reenact a scene as if they were the character and the character was trying to tell a message to their father. So in the book, you can hear the student, I hope you guys can hear it if I can even play it. Sorry. Oh, maybe that's in the way. All right, let me try to get that out of the way. Sorry, I'm not even on my own computer. I'm like stuck in in a teacher workroom with somebody else's computer here.
Hey Dad, I just got back from the docks and made a huge discovery. At 1 a.m. I snuck out and head to the docks. There was one of Gus's goons sleeping on a car, so I had to sneak past him to get on the boat. I headed to the boat and the goon had woken up and was standing on the hood of the car.
So you could see how they just really like ran with this. It's just so we were just blown away. Like I was teary-eyed when I saw what these kids were doing with this first run through. Here's an interview with the author of the book. So putting in the YouTube video without them having to leave and go to YouTube. It's right inside the book. No issues there. It is just so amazing. They loved it. There's other points where they had to speak into the camera, speak so they weren't on camera. So it was like a voice text type thing. I mean, just awesome, amazing. And then let me just quickly show you the one for Esperanza Rising, which is not yet, students haven't accessed it yet, but I just want to share it. And you can also see in this library, they're on to their next book, which is Hatchet. And now they're doing it again. So they loved it so much for Flush, they're doing it for Hatchet. So that is that library. Let me show you mine. You can hear me clicking around here. I have like a really weird trackpad, mouse pad here. So here's Esperanza Rising. And I just want to show you, this is a totally different book with a totally different style to it. So again, the chapter by chapter. So this book has chapters named after fruits and vegetables. So you can see that's the chapter activity, introducing the main character. And then here on the side, it are the directions for each page. So this is our work in progress. So here's again, using technology now, like the character has to write a script of a text message response. She's texting her friend about what happened. Well, that doesn't happen in the story. Obviously, the story takes place in the 1930s, but this is just a way to get the students excited. And then the response text. And then in this one, they get to choose text message or voice message, depending on how they want to express what's going on in the story for that chapter. Point of view activity. So that's where we are. Oh, a postcard and they get to pick which, this is where the book takes place, and they get to pick which picture they want. Some kids nowadays don't even know what postcards are. So it's really interesting to be able to play with this. And I love to see what they're going to make from all of these things. So that is my little quick experience loving Book Creator so much.
Oh, what? Thank you so much for sharing all of that. That was amazing. And you too, Michelle. I'm honored. I'm privileged. Thank you so much for your bravery and for putting yourself out there. And love the Esperanza book too. Just thinking through some of the like fun activities and the reading guides that you're using with students. Those are so much fun. Looking, especially just from a student perspective, I kind of wish I had done that with the book Hatchet. That's like my top book from my childhood was Hatchet.
Oh, wow, really? Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, I loved that book. I don't know why. Who knows?
That's awesome.
So I'm going to reshare my screen. And I wanted to point out a couple of things because Donna, while you were talking, I jumped back into that book that's in this community space that we have. And I noticed that both Michelle's library, so Michelle put her library of resources, not the social studies books. You got to reach out to hers if you want those. She put those in the chat. I want to let anybody watching the recording know that you can find those in the book that's inside that library that I shared. And you'll have a link to that because you wouldn't be watching this if you didn't have that link. Also, Lori Guan's put some resources in here as well. And Donna, you mentioned those as well when you were speaking. So I just wanted to point that out. And then there's a lot of other resources in here. We've had Christina Holzweiss share, and she shared a bunch of stuff with us. And then Beth Dow, and I don't know if you know Kim and Trish, but they're fantastic. They've got their 5 favorite features. So there's a lot of resources in there that we're building out. And if you're able to share, Donna, any of those resources with other folks, do so, put those in the chat, and I can add them to this book. And if you're only allowed to share them with individuals, then it'd be great if you want to throw your contact information over there. Folks can contact you as well for those. So very exciting stuff. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to take a minute, and I'm going to sort of breeze through some of these questions. I have a few questions that I put in a poll. So if you see that up, we want to hear from you just about what you find exciting about Book Creator, while I go through some of these questions that I think are probably good questions for a lot of folks. And I might not get to every single one of them, but here we go. How to use Book Creator as a PD tool for teachers. The best resource that I can point you to is our PD guide. And this is essentially a book about training teachers how to use Book Creator. Now, I'm not saying that your question is exactly how to use Book Creator to teach others about Book Creator, but this guide would be a good place to stop and look, because it's designed for that in mind. And so you can go through here and look at some of the ways that we've set up PD using Book Creator to teach folks about Book Creator, but you can simply adapt it to teach people about whatever you wanted. And so that PD resource is linked in the book, and it's completely remixable. So please take it, beg, borrow, and steal from that resource. And then we also have an implementation guide. If you were going to give PD about Book Creator specifically, or we're looking for more in questions just about getting your school set up and getting started, we do have this implementation guide. It is it's a real big book. So I suggest you jump on a call with someone like Allie or Chanel or Vicky or John, and you go over that book with them, because there is a ton of really awesome resources in there. We had a question here about Canva. Canva, when it loads inside of Book Creator, it's sort of loading like an instance of Canva. And so you don't have full access to your Canva library. You just have access to Canva at that time. And so only the student who initiated that Canva instance can then go in and make changes to that Canva thing that has been put in the Book Creator. And please, team members, stop me if I'm incorrect here, but my assumption is that students can't edit each other's Canva creations, because it has to be the student who initiated it. So don't stress if you're using Canva and you're worried about them working together, but if you do want them to collaborate, I suggest either being in the Canva app itself or just using the tools we have in Book Creator in our collaboration mode. I left the comment in, sadly, I have to work during the session. Can you send me a recording? Yes, we're totally sending recordings of these now, and you'll see them in the front of the book. Next question here is about Google Classroom. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. And Moodle. And Google Classroom and Moodle are not platforms that we fully integrate with, but you can take the link to a published book and place them there, and then they can be viewed by students. So that's usually how we suggest teachers incorporate Book Creator and something like Moodle or Google Classroom. Now, if you are using Canvas or you're using Schoology, we do integrate with those systems. And so you can have a book pulled up inside of your SpeedGrader, for example, and you can be looking at that. So if you're using Canvas or Schoology, check that out. Hopefully Google Classroom is coming down the pipeline. I left this inconsistency in text box restrictions to upload my own video because the best way to get your questions answered that are technical issues, especially if you're having problems getting something done, is to email support@bookcreator.com. And I know one of my friends will throw that in the chat just for folks, but they are so responsive to your questions. And so if you are having an issue like something with inconsistency in text boxes, best thing to do, try and capture some pictures or video of what's going on, send it over to support, and I'm telling you, they jump right on that stuff. So great question. Thank you for asking that, whoever that was. So assigning a book as a template for all students to use without having to copy the book. I think what we're talking about here is being able to essentially that feature that we have in Google Classroom that's sort of like make a copy for all students type of thing. That's super easy to do. So from the bookshelf view, if I have the book, this is my student template, for example, and I have students in my library, here we are. When I click on these three little dots and I go to share, I can assign the book. And I can actually choose who in the library gets assigned that book. And when I decide who that I want to have that book, it could just be all of my students, and I hit start assignment. What it's going to do is it's going to make a copy of that student template for each of those students. Now, I only selected one because otherwise it would have made a ton of copies, but I want to show you from the bookshelf view here. You can see that this is my copy, and I know that it's my copy and that it's an assignment because it now has this little assignment button up at the top, and I can use that to stop the assignment. You might be familiar with that from Google Docs. And I can also see here that Amelia now has her own copy, and as it works to load, she'll be able to see that as well. Now, I think that's what folks meant when they said, make a copy for other folks. One thing that you might want to have turned on when you do that is to turn off read each other's books. The reason being is that once you make that copy, if students are allowed to read each other's books, they're going to see everyone else's copy as well. And that can be really confusing. But if you turn off read each other's books, they'll only be able to see their copy of the book. And that can be a little bit helpful with the workflow. So just a little pro tip for me there. I got that from Janet Burnett yesterday in our Train the Trainer session, which, by the way, would maybe help answer that other question about how to do PD for teachers, because if you're interested, you can jump and join in our community. And our community is sort of just teachers that are raising their hand and saying, hey, I want to get a little bit more involved, and I also want to get access to some free stuff and more resources. And so essentially we're asking you to come join us and help shape the future of Book Creator, connect with local educators like you're doing now, and we help amplify your voice. This is Terry Law from Georgia presenting on our booth at ISTE. We offer badges and certificates, and we have added a brand new trainer badge. This is why I'm talking about this. We added a brand new trainer badge. And so if you attend one of our Train the Trainer sessions, you get access to some exclusive swag that you can use in your PD sessions. And you also get that cool badge, and you join our community, and it's amazing. I want to show you, make sure I get all these questions. Got that. What's the best way to lift this tool off the ground? That was the implementation book that I was just talking about. So if you're just getting started, you're trying to get a pilot group of folks set up with this or get this off the ground, check out that implementation guide that I showed a second ago. It's just got a ton of resources and ideas for getting teachers excited to use Book Creator for the very first time. Is there a search feature in the Discover section? No, there is not. Big, sad tear. We've been asking for a long time, but it's just not high on the priority list. But what is high on the priority list is one of our brand new features. And this is one of the last things I'm going to share because we're almost at time. So I want to encourage everybody who hasn't already to ask any questions that you have of us before I show this demo. And I'm guessing that a lot of you have probably already seen this. And in the last few minutes that we have, I also just shared a poll. I would absolutely love to hear your feedback about how today went. We've changed things a little since our last meeting, and we're trying to continuously improve on these sessions so that they meet your needs. And I really hope they were, because we had two incredible New York educators share some incredible resources with you. So I'm going to launch a poll about feedback. And while I chat a little bit about translations, I would love your feedback there. So translations is a new suite of tools that we've launched inside the platform. It's built right in, and it allows you to translate text, audio snippets, video transcripts, or even entire books. So I'm just going to quickly demonstrate that for you. If I've already typed something out, I can right click on it, click translate, choose the language that I'd like to translate it into, and hit translate. It'll automatically translate that text for me, and all I need to do is potentially adjust the size of the font simply because the words are longer or something like that, and it fits up there at the top. Now, if I have an audio recording, I can do the same thing, and what we'll do here is I'll record a quick audio. Hi there, my name is David Hotler, and I'm the community manager at Book Creator. Once I have my audio recording, I need to add a transcript to it. And this is just good general practice for everyone. And Book Creator is awesome because it generates that transcript automatically for you. And once it's there, you can go in and you can edit and make tweaks to that transcript. You can even choose to replay it and hear it as it comes out. And please hurry, go faster. Once I have that transcript, I can right click. Oh, it's ready. Excellent. And that looks good at, oops, I said Book Creator, right? Once I have this, I hit save, I can right click on that again, and how I can hit translate. I can choose the language and the voice that I want to hear it in and hit translate. And it's going to make a second copy of my audio translations and read it. You can't hear it because I didn't share my audio, but it's in a whole nother language. So I'll just leave those right here for you to play with in the future. We're super happy and excited about translations. If you haven't checked it out, or if you don't have access to the premium version of Book Creator, which you will need to use that, I have included an upgrade link to Book Creator Premium for 3 months. It's on this page. Simply just need to click the button. And if you're in the free account, you are now upgraded. There's no credit card, there's no coupon code, there's nothing you have to type in. Super simple. So I'm going to leave you all with that, and the hopes that you give me some feedback on how the session went, and that you're in the library, and that you're checking out some of these New York specific resources, especially those created by our community, because they are super, super impactful. Donna, I love to hear that you say you're stopping by the Book Creator Hub frequently, because we do put resources on this page, including this library. So you'll be able to access the resources that we're coming out with, like our Computer Science and Digital Fluency Learning Standards book, and how we support New York educators. So we're very excited to continue to build those relationships with New York educators, and yeah, support you in any way that you need. Oh, 60 seconds. I did it. Thank you so much for joining. And I appreciate everyone spending the 45 minutes with us today, especially if you're rewatching the recording. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing, Michelle and Donna. Huge round of applause for you. I will be capturing everything that was put in the chat. If I didn't see it, if there's a question there that wasn't answered, I will answer you via email, and I'll put all those links and resources up in that book so you have them continuously whenever you need them. But it has been a pleasure and an honor to have you with us. And until next time, happy bookmaking.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
David,
Thank you.
I have to tell you, I opened my calendar this morning, I had a huge block. Like, why did I clear all my appointments off the schedule? I taught one class this morning. I came back to my office. I'm like, why did I clear off my calendar? And then at 11 o'clock, I got the email, Book Creator. I'm like, the 22nd, 11 o'clock. That's right now. I'm like, oh my God. I knew it was
I
coming.
was sweating, Donna.
So
I was sweating.
I'm like, wait, I think I said it. So I didn't prepare. So I was like, wow, I just.